Right. So H Radio 323s, full and part-timers. This is the second lesson for Workers' Day this Thursday. I am recording it on Monday, so when I do have some time references, they might not be exactly correct, but I think you can understand. All right, we're continuing part 9 of 15 from the additional material, Morning Radio Revisited from Tracy Johnson. We're going to look at character profiles, writing skills for radio, and developing content, page 71 to 79. So this is quite it's actually, you know what, everything is important, but a quite large focus on creating your character profile. In other words, almost if I want to kind of introduce it as a way that when we do approach the slides that do come up, and do show you some examples. I want you to try and think of like a LinkedIn profile that has some elements of a Tinder profile. I know that sounds a bit awful. Don't include their, I'm saying to you, don't include the gross aspects that you might want to include on a Tinder profile. I'm not sure what you do there, or people do there. It's been like 10 years or whatever it is since I decided to like install and then uninstall Tinder. Right. So, but what I want to push through and push as important for you to understand is when you are developing a character profile, a profile for yourself that explains who you are, what you do, what you're passionate about, what your skills are. That's what I'm talking about. That be sent to different agents, to different, not agents, I would say your agent will tend to want sent to different job opportunities, like to apply for your own, and whatever it is. So we want to be able to build that as well, right? Remember, we always do want to begin the conversation or the content for the day, the lesson for the day, with some springboard content practice ideas, right? So here are three, and I want you to give yourself a couple of seconds, right, to be able to think of anything that any part of this or anything that it makes you think of, whatever it may be, to be able to springboard one call out, one interview, whatever it may be, one content piece that resides with not this content piece or these suggestions over here, but rather something that again has, I don't know, sparked some kind of different, unique, creative way of being able to put something out on there, on air, or wherever it is that you are intending to put your content creation, right? Literature MP demands huge parts of SA, advanced AI risk to humanity, and how many US schools shootings have there been in the last few years? Just some things at the top of my head. So, for example, we can definitely talk about. I literally just saw one influencer have an interview with an AI, but it's a great AI generated version of Eminem, which is obviously this influencer was sponsored by this kind of like higher end AI development company, whatever it may have been, and it was quite amazing. It was really out of this world. So one, I love Eminem, but also I do love technology and whatever it may be. So that would be a nice basis for perhaps maybe creating an AI version of your mom or your dad or your boss, whatever it may be. Ooh, you'll get in trouble. Right, okay. So you can try the rest for yourself. Let's look at your character profiles. At Disneyland, there are no employment officers and or employees. The company calls it casting, and workers are called cast members. Disney believes that every team member plays a role in the entertainment business. Of course they do, because again, it's one of those whole things. Every single element, every single cog in your machine should be respected as a process, or should I say, respected as a valuable element to that process, because a process works with one to another, one to another, one to another, one to another. And if any one of those are considered, well, invaluable, and they break off the chain, they break the chain, they break the process. So they don't hire a janitor, they hire an actor playing the role of a street sweeper, right? I don't know whether or not he actually sweeps the streets. That would be cool too. I'm saying, two for one special, right? But here's the logic and right. For the show, every member is an actual performer, an actor performing a role. The Seinfeld cast, which is a very famous, very funny. It is very funny. I have all 7 seasons. I love it so much, right? Seinfeld was so incredibly like beyond pioneering its comedic, I'm saying era. And it was so basic. It was just these four, it was based around these four people, these four friends, right? That were actually they were quite horrible people. And it was extremely fun. They would deal with every single day. I would say like a day to day, you know, I wouldn't say obstacles, just things that happen in your day. And it's just, I'd like to watch it again. I'm so in the mood. So great. Because the cast featured a normal guy, Jerry, right? Jerry Seinfeld, right? Who usually succeeds, an attractive girl with all the problems of a single woman, Elaine, a madman who dreams up bizarre ideas that was Kramer, and a pitiful loser, George. Who was my favorite? I think Elaine, maybe. And George was okay. Yeah, George and Elaine. Anyway, they were all great. I think Kramer was maybe my least favorite. I've got a smile on my face. I should definitely put that in there. Anyway, sidebar. Distinct roles produce natural friction between characters, right? But you can't just put anyone together. You can't and expect something to work. Oh, this one's got this big like temperament or this sassy attitude, and this one is like a bit more of an introvert and a bit more witty or whatever it is. It doesn't work. It just doesn't work like that. You can't mix and match like you see on my last point of reference are toy figurines that you now are forced to collect an entire collection just to be able to put one figure together. It's ridiculous. Anyway, it's rubbish. But my point is, same thing here. We can't just mix and match to believe that we are going to get a great product at the end of the day. And the initial start is to be able to test that mix and match and see what is the synergy between the two quote unquote characters or personality roles, right? Okay, this may be even more important than show chemistry, and many shows have great chemistry but little entertainment value, right? So, specifically, for example, just to explain that statement on its own, like the two of them are great together. I was watching you can obviously see my mind is like sighted um on animation at the moment. And when I was rewatching an old movie, it's called B Movie, right? Animated film. Funny enough, produced by Jerry Springer, and him and Renee Zellweger. There's these parts of the movie that are so it's as if they had been living together forever, knowing each other forever. It is so well done. The movie, on the other hand, wasn't that great, but that interaction, that energy, that synergy, that chemistry, that whatever it is between the two of them it's like maybe one of my top 100 favorite I'd say like movie scenes with open bracket S and another S, right? Right, of all time. Just so incredibly well done. It's a great example of what synergy actually can produce, right? So many shows have great chemistry, but little entertainment value. The question that on-air talent must answer is, who are you actually? What is your point of view as a human being? Like currently at this point in your life, what is your current point of view, and who are you with the world around you? Like these things are core aspects to be able to build your own personality in a very organic, natural, authentic, and definitely like a sellable way, right? So, what do you stand for? How will your personality translate to the show? And each role is a result of a character profile that's created from traits based on who the personality really is. So, it is not sharing everything, as we've said before, not sharing everything, but being able to know that these are my characteristics, these are my personality traits, and these are the ones that I'm going to best put together. So I'm going to amalgamate them together, right? To be able to put this great person, right? This great personality, rather, on air that people are going to enjoy. The same way you would put all the best parts together to produce or to manufacture a great car, right? A great automobile. Each cast member must add value to the show, and the more diverse the roles, the more creative tension generated, resulting in more opportunities for entertainment. Ooh, I'm going here. For entertainment moments, right? Okay. So while it's true that successful talent is very genuine, it doesn't preclude, in other words, exclude like exaggeration, right? We do want extra people. We do want you to also be like contextually, existentially extra, so my extra, because that's what you are. Like we must amplify our personalities to be able to resonate louder, right? To command attention, right? And to be remembered at the end of the day. Character is defined by extremes, right? We all have extremes. And if you don't have an extreme, that's 10 to 1 when you might be invisible, or might not be heard, or your voice is basically mute. It's mute. It's unheard, right? And so we do want to be able to work on those extremes. And yes, there's bad extremes and there's good extremes, right? And so we want to be able to focus on being able to really capitalize on those good extremes. So ordinary shows relate personal experiences of life as it really actually is, and great personalities tell the same story from a perspective of life as it could be. Now, thing is, being yourself said time and time and time again. I know you're getting bored of it, but thing is, then if you're getting bored of it, do it, right? So you can't beat someone by being more like them because they already are the 100% version of themselves, even on the worst day that they are having. They are still more like themselves than you will ever be on your best day, right? But strive rather for a more interesting version of yourself. Focus on yourself. It takes a long time to one accept, understand, like really figure yourself out. And when you do, like I would really just like I would benefit from the fruits of that, from the fruits of your efforts, and really, again, once again, just capitalize on going through that journey, like finding this is a big thing in your life, big thing. Really knowing yourself, really, really becoming your own best friend, really, really knowing your ticks, your flaws, your ins, your outs, whatever it may be. Um, and we know, like we don't change. We don't change as people. We don't. But we do grow. That's a very different statement from the other one, right? We will not change the core of who we are, which is fine. Like we must take the bad with the good as well, right? And not trying to fight that, but we do know that we're 100% capable of growing every single moment of every single day if the possibility or opportunity does present ourselves to do so. So, anyway, you should find your personality and then create a character profile as a guide to help the audience relate to you. So, here's a little bit of synopsis. Johnny is both sophisticated and corny. Well, he has the latest electronic gadgets and knows how to use them. He loves John Stewart, and so maybe mimics like his sense of humor, but he often elicits groans with his corny punchlines. He's easygoing, he's open, and he's approachable. Listeners feel like they can tell him what's on their mind and even argue with him without offending him. Johnny relies on the audience to contribute to most segments, and Johnny never crosses the line of good taste, but allows the listeners and other characters to push the limits for him, right? So when they do, he reacts with surprise and disgust, which I think is just a bit silly. Like I'm saying that that statement is just silly because it shows pretense, right? Okay, but and Johnny never insults the listener or talks down to them, though other members of the show do. Also irrelevant, right? He is obsessed with movies from all eras, particularly classics from the 40s and 50s, and he hates cooking and eats most meals at fast food restaurants, which contributes to his constant battle with weight. I do not have a good picture of Johnny, I can tell you that. Right, so look, that is a basic example of a character profile. Please, yours is going to be a lot more refined, a lot more professional. Please do not go for this. I'm saying this particular template. It's just a starter, like a starter pack example, right? So there are hundreds of personality types, and that's fine. Do not be intimidated. I know that we all will and constantly will feel that moment of intimidation as we do meet someone that's bigger, that's better, that's smarter, that speaks well, that is and that whatever prettier. This is fine. It's going to play to you, and getting past that is also a process that mustn't be undermined. You understand? So in other words, like downplayed or whatever it may be. Go through the process, get used to it because it's going to happen over and over and over and over and over again. For your character profile, you should identify your greatest attributes, right? And exaggerate them. So here's a short list that maybe will help you get started. Are you funny? Are you goofy? Are you wild? Are you sensitive? Are you sincere? I am going through all of them. Are you outgoing? And mark these off as like I am. I am a bit wild. I am outgoing. I also am a bit sensitive, but I'm also like someone that does concern myself with my own life and with other people's life. Am I quick? So in other words, quick to respond, off the wall. So kind of mad there, but in a good way. Opinionated, outrageous, compassionate, dirty, relatable, caring, on the edge, dry, wit or humor, clever, right, spontaneous, cocky, corny, connected, fun, honest, friendly, witty, droll, quirky, brash, right? If you don't know what brash is, someone that has no tact, like they say what they want to say. Reserved, geeky, bold, right? Out of control, naive, you don't expect the you don't really know the worst of the world, and so you're naive. Zany means a bit more, like I say, it's like a little crazy once again, different version of crazy. Trustworthy, in touch, likes to party. You're a bit of a chauvinist, a great quality there. Maybe a bit of wimpy, and I don't really. I'm very sensitive to. I'm very. Excuse me. Like if you want to call yourself a wimp, go ahead. But like, don't let someone else call you one for you. Hashtag Oprah Life Lesson Superstar Sunday, right? So sorry for the clear on my throat. I'm gonna take some water. And I should pause for that. I'm so sorry. Are you sarcastic? Are you dirty? Are you crazy, sophisticated? And once again, when people goes in the informed, confident, daring, confrontational. Once you mark off some of these characteristics that really speak truly of who you are, really try to elaborate further on each one of them. Which aspects of yourself describe this particular characteristics of being cocky? Like, why are you cocky? Who are you cocky with? Like, what do you sound like when you know you're being cocky? What are your triggers? That type of stuff. Don't be one dimensional. Don't take this and say, "Oh, that's me," whatever it may be. Right, number nine. I'm saying slide nine. Next, reduce your list to several traits, offering the best chance for the audience to get to know the personality. Now, these are core personality traits, and use the rest of your list to add character depth, right? So, again, because you're a complex human being, that potentially makes you interesting. It just depends on how well, one, you know yourself, how well you know the context in which you are yourself, and then be able to use that to your advantage. Then, anyway, compare the character profile to the other mediums or the members of the show. Did one person grow up in a small town and another in a big city? That could that's that's one very small element, some one little grain of rice that, for example, can show some differences and some sources of many conversations, actually, because the entire, like, the construct of that human being versus the other are going to have different points of view, different ways that they do agree, different ways that they see the world, whatever it may be. Right? Is one a hippo, like a hypochondriac? All right, so that is, for example, someone that is, I'm a hypochondriac. Like, I constantly think that I am going to get ill, and when I do get like ill in some other way, like I go mad. Like, I do go mad. I'm obsessed. I'm gonna take the pills, go to doctor, do this, do that, whatever it may be. Right. Anyway, pure fruit juice blend, no blend, no blend. We must take the orange juice. You must cry. What is that thing, man? Oh, I haven't used one of those in a long time, but you're gonna put in a juicer, whatever it may be. I don't mess around, right? Look for characteristics, attitudes, behaviors, history, beliefs, connections that play against others, right? At this point, you'll have a long list with details about each personality to form a written character profile. Think once again, as LinkedIn doesn't allow you that, right? So, for example, to talk about yourself, I'm saying in your bio itself. But remember that almost as if it's a not even a Z card. So if we look at the industry of acting, etc., where they do develop a Z card for you, and it's got all your details, your height, your weight, your this, your that. It's got a picture of you, and it's got all your experience and so on and so forth. There's a better example of a character profile, but you need to go even further, right? Really make it like a bit of a very short one-page biography of yourself, personality biography, right? About yourself. Don't talk about your cat, and don't talk about your dogs or whatever it is, and unless it's important to show that this is why you love animals, right? Okay, practice using it to develop content and personalize stories, right? So this is a fun exercise. It's going to help you develop more chemistry around you and those that you work with. So this is how listeners will come to know you. Never violate that image, because that's your true self. Agree? Right. So during this era at Kiss FM in Los Angeles, Rick Dees was known as a funny, nice guy. And when Howard Stern first came to Los Angeles, he generated tremendous media attention. We've spoken about good old Howard, right? Oh, I should, I was going to say, you know what? No, before I forget now, just give me 2 seconds, chat. Just give me 2 seconds. I need to just go get this trailer for this movie, right? Because I just thought of it. All right, I'm gonna stop the share, just watch the trailer, and you'll understand what I mean about this movie that I keep talking about. I think I've spoken enough about it. Share the sound, so share the sound there. Just have a look.
Once upon a time, in a land far, far away, there lived a dreamer whose only wish was to spread joy among his fellow men. But there was one problem.
Oh, baby, give it to me.
He was different.
You like that, huh? Oh, yes, I love it, baby.
You want to be a disc jockey?
Very much so.
What are you, an idiot? Oh, well, you stink.
You're a somewhat abnormal person with a somewhat abnormal job.
He was offensive.
The underpants are coming off. That is the first naked lady in the history of radio. This is disgraceful. We should be taken off the air.
He was obnoxious.
I'm going to have sex with you right now over the radio. And I want you to straddle the speaker.
He was disgusting.
I thought you were going to control this guy.
You want me to go on?
A woman had an orgasm on the air.
This is the best sex I ever had.
They tried to shut him up.
You want to tame him?
Did you say testicles on the air?
Oh, yes.
Switch him off.
Oh, my God. She has swallowed an entire 13-inch kielbasa. You gotta love that, folks.
Your husband's quite a character.
Just an act.
And tune him out.
Don't sing along with the music.
No jokes dealing with flatulence.
I refuse to work with this man 1 minute longer.
I want to beat these guys. The only way to do that is to stay on the air.
You are the Antichrist!
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
You're fired.
This is good. This is good.
Private Parts. The true story of a man with big dreams.
We are gathered here today in praise of me.
And a very small.
No.
Did he say penis?
Yeah. It is. It's so good. The movie's so good. I'm just gonna stop that share there. To go watch the private parts. All right, let's continue. I think that so I don't think I have to speak about Howard Stern ever again. Right. You now know a little bit more about him. So okay. Anyway, the whole thing about obviously different people being intimidated by other people, which is what this particular slide is all about, is someone, a presenter, and again a person that really hasn't found the value of them, their own. What they can serve and offer the world around them as an entertainer, and that's really where it comes from. Sure, jealousy is one thing; it's a human attribute. It's not a great one. We envy other people too, whatever it may be. Specifically, they're doing better than we are, but we need to know that we need to cycle back and be able to say, "Listen, yeah, you know what? Okay, let me just stop with that because it's getting me nowhere, and let me start with myself because I'm going to be able to start somewhere." And move one step forward, as I said before, as I always say, one step at a time, right? Ryan Seacrest followed a similar path in developing his own character. A talent statement helps Ryan remember that he is not the funniest or edgiest show on the world. In the world, should I say, but is positive, well informed, and Ryan is very friendly. So, thing is, you don't have to be the most, as I said, you don't have to be that a certain extreme. We say extreme, we relate that with again offensive, that type of stuff, like beachy, that type of whatever it may be. You don't. You must be the best version of yourself, and the best extreme version of that particular self to be able to be considered someone that's going to actually make a difference in someone's life, right? Build material with a purpose, the way writing teams create television scripts, right? Each line is carefully crafted in your prep to know that you're delivering some kind of reasoning at the end of the day, a payoff, or established character traits of the actor. Well, I mean, in this case, in this context, it's for TV. We know how it relates to us. Every line is debated, edited, written to produce a reaction from that particular audience. So here are some pointers as to move along for writing and preparing your skills better and your show better for your on-air live show, right? Your on-air moments. Okay, banter is something that yes, we need to practice, but I don't think the studio is a great place to practice it. You need to understand that to be able to banter, in other words, be able to have a back and forth with someone that you do know or someone that you don't even know is a talent and a skill that someone has to develop. So you've got the full opportunity to do so, like in your life every single day, blah, 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 right? And there's a fine line separating banter from pointless talk. Banter is talk with purpose and is built into scripts for movies, sure, but in radio, it comes naturally and with purpose, right? Okay. When mastered in a defined conversation, the audience, your audience, is going to get to know you better because you're going to be talking just quite organically with another person. And definitely your personality is going to pop out here, there, and so is theirs. And whatever it is that you've got to say is going to be really cool. And the interaction is going to be a good time well spent, right? All right. Anyway, when mastered in a defined conversation, the audience gets to know you better. And when they do know you, they can love you, right? Again, at a surface level for the reason and for the purpose, please not love you, actually love you like your parents do, but love you as a service provider. TV classic Cheers. Great also. It's a great comedy with it is masterful in its script writing. Again, won endless amount of awards, started many different massive careers for those actors as well. And you don't need the acclamations to know that it's good, but it's a great example of character development through banter, right? Even with limited exposure to the lives of Norm or Cliff, right, who are characters in Cheers, a viewer anticipates their reaction to almost every situation, but it's surprising each time they do open their mouth because the scriptwriter knows what they're doing. By designing an on-air conversation and applying comments to the character profiles, banter has a tremendous purpose on your show. Production, on the other hand, is also very, very, very important. I'm going to keep on saying that about everything. It's all important, man. Though not technically a writing technique, produced elements are a powerful tool that establishes your character and your show as well. When you want to put something together, like put the effort to cut and edit down in terms of production wise, right? So actual sound production, audio production, or video production for online, right? Put the effort in to know that listen here, you are going to put something out there that has purpose, even if it's 30 seconds, 40 seconds, 3 minutes and 40 seconds, it doesn't matter. Like it's got to be a good piece of content, right? So, what was this whole thing? Yeah, we all know that you put in all this effort, you put in the production, you put in the editing, you really put out a great product, and you get 3 likes. Don't do it because of that. As I keep saying to you, because one, you will be professionally deflated, and as a person, most definitely guaranteed deflated too. So be careful about what it is that you put into context for inspiration and affirmation, right? John Jay and Rich constantly. So not too sure who they are. I'm not going to pretend like I know, right? So, but I'm guessing they presenters update the elements to help listeners identify and learn more about them. Use audio examples from the show to make the promo come live. Definitely, as a donut promo to promote the show across the station. Here's an example: the show, whatever it may be, starring whoever, a hypochondriac, the pyromaniac, and the nymphomaniac. Here they are. Yeah, okay. That'll be an interesting show. All right. Anyway, once your character is identified, remain true to it and don't look back because you grow as a person every single day. So you will be more than enough to a new audience and your older audience and your loyal fans to being a human being means more of your or some of your audience will never ever respond, right? It's absolutely critical to understand not everyone is going to like you, and that's fine because why is that a surprise? Not everyone likes you in real life either. And you seem to be carrying on just fine, right? Yes, when someone tells you straight to your face, I don't like you, it's going to affect you. But I guess you're going to also just blow it over because it's not that important to you, right? When you realize that not everyone's going to like you. When the personality war is about everyone liking them or her, they usually start removing the things some find unappealing, right? This is almost always a mistake because now you're taking away from who you are. And I'm not saying propagate the bad aspects of you, but know that who you are is made up of, again, the good and the bad. Eventually, they'll fail because why? Eliminating negative produces a few detractors. It also yields a no passionate fans. Rush Limbaugh has 21 million, or had he died, I think, 21 million listeners in his audience. Many of the other 28 million Americans can't stand him, and that's okay. Rush expects or accepts that the minority of the public will love him, and why would he care about the rest? They don't even listen to him, right? Same is true for Howard Stern. He's got a movie, right? The same is true, again, of American Idol host Simon Cowell, or previous host. He used to own Idols, as far as I know. He now owns X Factor or X Talent, or I don't even know. I don't follow those shows, right? The strongest personalities are highly polarizing, but they use the positive passion they induce from those that love them to create a strong brand identity. And a passionate community of followers is more valuable than a large audience that doesn't actually care. Remember the little anecdotes, the example I told you about Tux? If 100 listeners love you, 10,000 listeners that like you mean so much less, right? Recruit fans and provide the tools for them to grow their community by focusing on things that cause listeners to love you. How do you know that? I mean, like, really, like, how do you know and guarantee yourself you're going to do things that love people? Well, you work with people every day, and you can try and test what works and what doesn't work in terms of you as a person, one. And so you should learn from the world around you. If they all are saying that you're a bit irritating, or you're a bit condescending, or you're a bit patronizing, whatever it may be, and maybe you should work on that. That's a definite, right. But also in radio, it's really, you can't talk to every little listener, right? They're going to also tell you at some other point, they're going to be fed up and tell you suck, right? And for no other reason but because you suck. That's enough for them. And you need to be like, okay, maybe that's just one person, but if I get like 100 messages saying that, then I've got a bit of a massive issue, right? In this song, Joined Together, the Who's, who are the band, Roger Daltrey's saying it's the singer, not the song, that makes you sing along. So this may be true, but no matter how great the performance, a bad song is a bad song, and a great song requires the singer's performance to become the actual hit, right, of what makes it such a hit itself. Content and style combine to inspire an audience, right? Listeners don't form a relationship with content, but with your style, yet personality alone will not overcome weak content. So, as I said to you before, it is both a good presenter and a good production process is exactly how you can have the best possible outcome for your show, right? The content is how the audience is usually introduced to the show, right? Because they get a bit of a style as to, they get a bit of an inkling as to what you're about, what you're going to talk about, how you talk about it, who you're talking about it with, and so on, right? It's what you do at the end of the day. And yes, how you do it too. Style is how you do it. It's the reason they become fans. Magic will happen when personality and content intersect, and many shows excel at one or the other. Great shows master both. We're nearly done here. Let's close up here. Here's a bit of a case study. There are two talk shows on competing stations that happen to be on exactly at the same time. One show is all about personalities of two hosts, and they're naturally witty, entertaining, and generally likable. They also fail to develop their content, so it's kind of weak, right? While the other show really prepares well, they got great content, but absolutely no personality, right? It doesn't resonate with the listener. We know that Both are incorrect, and both together will only be a way forward for winning product. Both shows cause people to tune out for the other. When one constantly disappoints in content, the other makes people run from the personality. Neither show ranks well in ratings, and both style and content are essential. And for example, a presenter, Jim Rome, has both. He delivers a thoughtful program with a campy personality loaded with catchphrases and benchmarks. Please don't use him because it's already him, right? To help audiences remember and emulate with him. Here's the point. Listeners respond to style, but depend on content. Your homework for the day is use the knowledge about building a winning radio show, and then, of course, listen to those shows, or you have listened to them already, according to the principles that you have learned. Once again, tell me why it's badly executed, and well executed now that you know further and you know better. Stop the share over there. I'm going to end the recording. Have a great day.